Are you looking for a friendly place to purchase your beauty supplies and hair supplies for the entire family? Well, you found the right place. Cali Beauty Supply, located at 1614 West Main Street in Kalamazoo, Michigan. They offer outstanding customer service and believe deeply in giving back to their community. Mo El Katabi is the owner. Customers can shop in the store or online. Curbside pickup is also available. They also have a full-service salon inside of the business called Stephanie Renee's Salon. Be sure to check them out as well. You may reach the store for your online purchases via their website at www.calibeauty.com. Their hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The business prides itself with the following motto: where beauty gets done.
Greetings and welcome to the Lotus Flower podcast. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Pamela Robinson, and my co-host is Reverend Curtis L. Robinson Sr. The aim of the Lotus Flower podcast is to educate, empower, and equip our listening audience with culturally relevant, spiritually uplifting, thought-provoking topics. The podcast audience is generally made up of affluent, educated millennials ages 25 and up. However, our targeted population is African Americans, Hispanics, people of color, low to moderate income populations, single parenting households, and disenfranchised people. All adults are welcome to partake in the podcast. It doesn't matter the person's socioeconomic status, race, creed, nor educational background, religious affiliation, or lack thereof, as long as you have an interest in respectfully learning about African American culture, race, relationships, and history, then you are more than welcome to join us for the Lotus Flower podcast. And we are happy to let you know that we are now streaming also on YouTube at the Emerging Hope Ministries channel. And we are streaming on our platforms via audio through Spotify, RSS feed, Wix.com, Google Podcasts, Reason Podcast, and Amazon Podcast. So you have a variety of platforms whereby you can listen to this cutting edge, relevant podcast from. You know, the lotus flower itself is a flower that's signified with purity, inner strength, and tranquility. That is what our lotus flower in our logo represents. It represents a flower that's blooming and blossoming in adversity. And the flower that blooms in adversity is the greatest of them all. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible in 2 Corinthians 5:17 that lets us know that therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things become new. That is what this podcast represents. Newness, blooming and blossoming, and reaching to the potential that the Lord Jesus Christ created you to reach before the foundation of the world. So we want you to know to join us for this podcast and let others know that the Lotus Flower podcast is airing so that you can help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of June. We also want you to know that we are super excited to have now ads that are running on our podcast. Yes, we have 3 advertisements that are running on the podcast. Be sure to frequent those businesses when you see their ads coming across this podcast platform. Thank you all for joining us today. Today we have a very special guest with us, and I am super excited that when I reached out and invited her to be a part of this podcast, she said yes right away. And I thought to myself, that was nothing but the Lord. So thank God for Ms. Sheryl Ann Haymon. I'm going to read a bit of her bio before we start. Growing up, I seemed average, just sewing and changing McCalls, sewing and using McCall's simplicity and Butterick patterns was something that I enjoyed doing. After graduating from Thomas A. Edison High School in Fresno, California, my goal was to attend college. I completed 3 semesters at California State University in Fresno and found that it was not for me, as the required general education classes were just that, general. The university fashion classes seemed elementary, and I wasn't challenged, so I moved on. Thank God for wise counsel, which came through my aunt, Bertha Parker of Pasadena, California. She told me about fashion college. I moved to Southern California to attend Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and another world opened up to me. I loved it and exceeded with my courses. After earning an Associates of Arts fashion degree, I completed another arts fashion degree, and I completed 2-year course study at Los Angeles Trade Technical College to receive a completion certificate in tailoring. As I began my business career in the Los Angeles apparel industry, I continued to educate myself when possible, completing the UCLA extension course, All About Business of Apparel Manufacturing and Marketing in 1991. The world changed again at this time in pattern making in 1994. Though present, I completed training at the Gerber Garment Technology course for apparel computer specialists to operate silhouette and pattern design systems, successfully completed several courses and training that were designed for computer patternized making. My career started when I was hired as a first pattern maker for Outreach of California. My career home began at El Corral Industries, where I worked over 17 years. My business. I'm extremely thankful for my mother, Juanita Ashley. She introduced me to sewing by helping me to make choir uniforms for our church. Through my own business, I've been able to use my talent for the Creator to help clothe his people. By Sheryl Lynn Apparel LLC makes clothes for all occasions, from custom fitted jeans, bags, costumes, uniforms, choir robes, clergy robes, prom dresses to wedding gowns, providing pattern service, sample development, and duplicates to fashion designers who need assistance with developing their fashion collections. Achievements and interests. The Haymon Scholarship Fund 501 nonprofit was established in August of 1998 by Cheryl, Melanie, and Alicia Haymon, warmly known as the Haymon Sisters. We want to encourage youth to excel and help students with no dependence entering into a university, college, or vocational program. We simply show that we care, share some wise counsel, and help financially where a little assistance is needed. It has been a blessing and a joy to share our knowledge and wealth. Our motto is simply, it's your life. We're just here to assist you with it. Ms. Sheryl Haymon.
Hey.
Welcome to the podcast. I've got to let my audience know just a little secret here.
Okay.
My last name, maiden last name, happens to be Haymon, and Miss Cheryl's last name happens to be Haman. So
It
we
is.
were both on Facebook, and we were looking on Facebook, and I think she must have noticed my last name was Haman, probably somewhere on my page, and then I definitely noticed her last name of Haman. So I figured, man, she may be related to me. So I just reached out to her one day. I said, I'm going to reach out and ask her if she knows some of my relatives by their last name and first names. And she said, well, I possibly do. And we kind of told each other where our relatives originated from. And most of them, some of them came from Georgia and Arkansas, some of the southern states, and some are in California. So to this day, we don't know for sure if we're
Don't
related,
know.
but we are yet investigating that.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Out. And we are both perplexed, and we've got to find that answer out. So
I'm sure we will.
So for now, today, I am going to go ahead and say this is my cousin.
Hey, cousin.
Welcome to the podcast. And
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love the design behind you. Did you make
Thank you.
some of the things that are behind you?
Every single thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm in my studio right now. So yes.
Oh, very. Did you make your outfit as well?
Yes. Yes. And this is my logo.
Oh, let's see that. You,
Me, we.
That is nice. Tell me
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Okay, so in the apparel industry, and when you're making garments, you have a size range. So we'll make, say, one base pattern, and then we send it for grading. That's going grading down and grading up in the sizes. So small, medium, large are the base sizes that people know. So I have simply named my sizes. So me is the medium, you is the small, we is the large. And then I have a modified base size, modified starting point, because our people, or people like me, compact people with meat on the bones, we tend to have more thighs, larger buttocks, and larger waist. But that does not necessarily mean that we are a plus size person. It just means our starting point is different. So working in the garment industry for super many years, I developed my own size scale, which I call you, me, we. Plus.
I like that. I like that. And then the silhouette.
The ladies.
Oh, different sizes.
Yes.
That is really nice.
Yeah. And this graphic is by Terry Dedham.
That's very nice. Very nice. So tell us a little bit more. I know your bio is just excellent, and the things that you've done and accomplished in your life has just been wonderful.
Well,
so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll start there.
Okay. Well, from the bio, you can see that I was raised in Fresno, California, but I was born in Long Beach, California. So in telling about myself, I have to tell a little bit about my parents, you know? And yes. So our father, O.C. Haymon, was in the Navy in Long Beach. And so that's where I was born. And then mom moved to the Central Valley, Fresno, California, and I was raised there. So as far as knowing my purpose, I learned that pretty early, because I believe your purpose is what you're doing. And it may not be a lifelong thing. It may be at a particular time. But with me, I have had this feeling that I needed to be making clothing. And it's been with me. So it has turned the craft, whatever, has turned into my career, has turned into urgency in me to want to teach it to other people, educate our community. But I raised with mother, two sisters, making sure that we had the Creator as the lead in our life. So the church world was primary, and everything was around that. So if mom needed help making those choir robes and choir dresses mostly. I was there to help her, and it 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 fascinated me. And seeing the different sizes, we could actually say if mom had a pattern modified and laid out on the floor, because they used to do the long dresses and women were larger back then. Yes. We could tell by looking at the cutout whose dress it was. We thought, oh, that's Sister McGrew's dress. And that's Sister Graham's dress. Sister Graham was tall. Sister McGrew had that shape, and some had big arms. I mean, big arms. And so mother used to modify patterns, and that's where I got it from. I watched her, and I took it on, and it just became a part of me, and it has developed into my career.
That is fascinating. So how young were you when you first started wanting to design and do that?
6 or 7. Yeah. So, and I say children know early kind of what they want to do, like the playing of house, the playing with dolls, the ones that's playing with clothes. Yeah. You know, you see children wanting to be in the dirt, some want to be in water, some, you know, that's a part of, we kind of get away from that because we think it's the childhood thing, but it really is, your purpose is building in you. Right. It's starting to develop. Right. But society, you know, has us think that, you know, to make money, we may have to go in a certain way. And then sometimes parents think, oh, that artsy thing, you might not be able to take care of yourself with that. But I think you have to find a way to have your purpose be a part of your daily life, some sort of way, sort of way.
And then you really fulfill your God-given calling for even in your career itself. Absolutely. You don't have to go to a mundane job day in and day out and really just despise what you're doing. Yes. You probably don't even see this as a job. It's probably, you see it as something you just love.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly the point. I love it so much that when you get the paycheck, it's like, that's just, you know, takes you over the top. It's like, oh, I'll get paid for this. Because, you know, sometimes in our industry, there have been highs and lows, and I have been unemployed from time to time. And, but still working in the creative, still making patterns, still trying to learn more about the industry that I'm a part of, you know?
Yes. Now, I'm going to go back to what you were saying about the little children when they're like 7 years old, and little kids around that age, a little bit older, finding out what their purpose is. Now, it is important at that time that we have an adult to speak into our lives to assure us that it is okay. This is your, they may not have those words to say, okay, this is your purpose, but they could have said, this is something that you enjoy doing, and I'm going to help you with it, and we're going to work together. And they would be encouraging, and they would let you sit with them and watch them do what they were doing. Like you said, your mom was cutting patterns and making those dresses and whatnot. So I just wanted our listening audience to know that those young people that are in your lives right now, your very children, your nieces, nephews, grandkids, your students, or kids yourself, if you come across this, don't despise the day of small beginnings. Yes. Just because you're young and you're starting off small, you could have a piece of paper and you could be cutting this into a paper doll. Yes. But that paper doll could actually become something that is your destiny. That could become a pattern, and the pattern could bloom and blossom into what Miss Cheryl here has become, a fashion designer. So you've got to have someone to speak into your life. And especially when you're young, you need that guidance. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And the guidance for me also came not only from my mother, but from my Aunt Bertha, who mentioned she lives in Pasadena, California. She actually, I have the telegram of that Aunt Bertha sent to our father, OC, who was on the USS Henderson at the time. I have the telegram of my birth that Bertha sent. So she's other people in your life, and even school recreational people. I know back in my day, they used to have all these summer classes used to be for fun classes. And so we would go to the sewing classes, the cooking classes, and even had choir and so things that help develop you. But if you don't get those things in, say in your school, then it's up to parents to seek out what the young people seem to be liking. That's right. And find classes somewhere, for them.
Right. That is exactly right. And that is what we want parents to know that are listening, as Ms. Cheryl said. If you don't have it in your schools, because right now, most of the schools all over the country, they don't offer home ec anymore. Right. Sewing and cooking and wood shop and all of that. So it is up to the parent to go ahead and seek those things out. And also the parents that might say, I'm a single mom and I only have a limited amount of income. I want you to know there are scholarships available that your child could attend these classes. Miss Cheryl and her sisters created a scholarship.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about your scholarship that you all created.
So what we found as a group of sisters, the Haymon sisters, we were wondering why it seemed like the young people, we always seem to be focused on the young people because so much was giving to us as young people. So many people reached out to us. And so we always had our eye on the young people. But we were wondering why they graduate from high school, don't seem to go on to college or graduate from college before becoming parents. So parenthood that we noticed at the church we belong to, parenthood was starting early before the education, higher education was finished. And so we just wondered, what's this about? Is there something that we can do to try to encourage the young people? Maybe start with them from age maybe 7, 8, and see if we can follow them through high school and help motivate them to enroll in college, whether it be a university, a trade school, or some sort of higher education, and graduate before becoming parents. So our stipulation is no dependence. Okay. We'll still love you. We will still love you if you bring a child into the world. But your financial ties with Haymon Scholarship Fund end as soon as you know.
I see. I understand. That's important because it makes them accountable.
That's right.
You got to be held accountable. If you're never held accountable to anything, you'll probably do anything.
Yes.
And all. So that is huge. Now, tell me, did you have some young people that were able to meet that stipulation?
Oh, absolutely. The Haymon Scholarship Fund has been, let's see, I think it was 1999 that we established the scholarship fund and became a 501c3 a couple of years after that. But yes, we've had, I don't even know how many students, but the initial thing was girls. Our focus was girls, because they're the ones that will be carrying the child, right? But we noticed that the boys seemed to be a bit more interested in really hanging with our requirements, because we touch bases. We need to know what we're paying for. So we want to help you with your books, but you have to write down, you have to tell us, you have to fill out the form, the questionnaire that we have. And I have a sister, Lisa, who actually been working at UCLA dealing with this very thing in administration at UCLA. So she was key to having things a certain way. And we're accountable to the government, to the state so we have to have documentation. So, but the young men, they really stuck with our program. And that's key also, because it takes male and female to bring that child in the world. So yes, they stuck with us.
That's good. That's good. And then the parents, did you meet any of the parents, or were the parents ever involved in the process? How did
This
that
is how we deal with parents.
go? Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
We have the initial meeting with the parents so we can let the parents know that we no longer want your input.
Okay.
It's time for your child to become independent of you.
Okay.
Parents, and mostly mothers, seem to hold on a little bit too tightly. I hate to say it, ladies.
Okay.
You all hang on a little bit too tightly to your children. And I think because my sisters and I, none of us have children, that we could see that they needed to, the young people, the youth needed to have a little bit more independence, because we're thinking about these are going to become the men, the women of our society.
Right.
They need to learn and get within themselves how to do this a little bit on their own. Exactly. And so we don't deal with the parents after our first initial meeting. Oh, we deal directly with the young people.
That is huge. That is huge. And it's definitely true that we hold on to those children really tight, especially children from those single parent homes when they just have the mom, or they might have the dad, or it could be grandma raising them. We just hold on to them because, it's like we got to protect them. Right. We got to make sure that they don't get into trouble. And the same goes for two-parent households. We're not knocking those either.
Right.
But I know from being a single mom years ago how I must admit that I was one that held on too tight.
Yeah.
Too tight, and just sheltered them so that when they did get out into the world, they were prepared, but they weren't prepared to deal with the viciousness of the world.
Yes.
They were a little bit green, a little bit more naive than most others because of it.
Yes. And with my sister Elisa being at UCLA and having, the world there, and seeing some of our the young Black students, she's like, oh no, they need a boost. They need a boost. They need to speak. Let the people be able to hear what you're saying. Don't be mumbling and have your head, and carry yourself like you care about yourself. That's important to us. Yes. And so we just feel compelled to assist,
That's right. And I love the idea that you're looking at them in a holistic way. You're telling them about their inner spirit. You're telling them about their outer way to hold themselves and be confident. You're encouraging them to delay the gratification of having a child early prior to marriage. You're telling them about the holistic picture, and not only just getting your education, but how do we get our whole life together and then move forward and actually bring another life into the world if you choose to.
Yes.
So do it in such a way where you may be a little more ready and more prepared.
Right.
To bring someone into this world that needs to really be strong these days and resilient.
Yes.
Talk about that lotus flower being able to push beyond that adversity. We see all that goes on in our world, especially for people of color, that you've got to be tough. You've got to be able to come from under some adverse situations and still press on and bloom and blossom. And that's for all people, not just people of color, but especially for people of color. We've experienced that. And so I pride you on what you're doing and taking a stand to
thank you so much
people to stand. Now we want to talk about how do you encourage our queens, our queens through your Sheryl Lynn's Queen Project.
So this is something brand new for me. I developed this idea based on things that I was doing with my mother. And so mother seems to be a focal point around my life. It seems like I am her.
Okay. Tell me, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I do a lot of things that she did, sewing. I directed the choir. Mother plays the piano. Mother is short. Mother is, I look like her. Out of her three daughters, I look the most like her. some of her demeanor is like, it just seems like sometimes, you walk by a mirror or something and it's like you double take. It's like, oh, I look just like mama, But her energy, she's very vibrant, except for now. She's 82 now, and so she has slowed down. But I'm sorry, I felt like I got myself a little off track. What was your question?
You're fine. We're going to come back. I was asking you about why did you say that you were like a figment of your mom, and that was going to bring us right on back to
into the Queen's project.
Yeah, but I did want our audience to know that there are women out there listening that's thinking that, the older I get, the more I seem like I'm turning into my mom. The principles she taught me and the things that she did and the way she held herself, I'm turning into my mom. So I didn't want to miss that nugget.
Okay.
But we're going to come back to what we were talking about with the Queen Project, because your mom has made you a queen.
Well, absolutely. And in Mom's home, everything is centered around our Heavenly Father. And so as mother, as the leader in her home, she was the queen. And so when I think about women now, I want to help bring that out, because you know how we're social media driven these days. And you see things and you're like, oh, I wonder why they don't change their picture. Or some things seem a little humdrum. And then sometimes I hate, you hate to say this, but sometimes when there's a funeral and you get the program and then there's a picture from so many years ago, and I would always think, I know there are no current pictures. Just all these old pictures. People are doing better now, but it used to be that there would be these old pictures, and it's like they don't have any more pictures, because it's like I know I've seen them look different, especially like Sundays. People in our community,
the big hats,
really dress up. But with my Queen's Project, I have a certain way, and I have a certain spirit about the culture of our people that I want to see women just emulate and feel something inside, feel their spirit being lifted. Some may know that they're a queen and have a firm rule, but it's not necessarily royal and regal.
Right.
I want to see that.
Now, when you say royal and real, I have and what? And
regal.
Regal. When I have in front of me a bowl, and it's a golden. See that golden bowl?
It's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? And all those pretty jewels in there. When you look at that, Miss Cheryl, would you say that I see royalty? I see something that's beautiful and regal.
Yes, absolutely. Now, just imagine that on your head.
Yes.
That I bet you would sit up straighter.
That's right.
I bet you that shoulder would come forward.
That's right.
And that glow from inside would just be beaming on up.
That's right. In relation to liking that to something like this, because we are visual people, we can visualize your words through looking at it.
Absolutely.
I can see that royalty here. I can see this is so regal, and it is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Let me let you in on a little secret.
Yes.
Me and Miss Cheryl, we're going to let everybody in, the thousands of listeners. Okay. Now, in order for this beautiful pot of jewels to become all colorful and shiny, and it's just a beautiful piece, it had to go through something. This thing, in order to be made, it had to start off as these fine little grains, like sand.
Yeah.
And the sand didn't have any color to it. Then they had to take the sand and run it through this really hot oven and make it into a liquid. and then they took the liquid and they shaped it first. And then they cooled it down and they shaped it into this pretty little piece of glass, and they added color to make it all these different colors like that. You might say, well, how do you know that, Dr. Pamela? Because see, years ago, my kids took a glass making class
great.
As a single mom looking for things for them to do to enhance their summers, they were able to get a scholarship whereby we started a scholarship program for single moms, and they learned about that process. The reason I brought that out is because it goes along with what you're saying about bringing out that queen in a person.
Yes.
The person might start out, as a little girl and without direction, and then she may go on in life and get a little lost in life, get a little lost there and not know her value, not know that she is a queen inside. Yeah. But it took Miss Cheryl and her sisters, if they're working with you on your project, to tell them that, yes, you might have started off as sand, and didn't have any color, didn't have any shape, thought you were ugly, devoid of ever becoming anything beautiful like this. But you took your Encouraging Queens project and you brought out the inner beauty of that person. And when the inner beauty comes out, guess what? The outer beauty comes out as well.
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely. So what I want to do with that outer beauty is I want to take a snapshot of it.
Yes.
I want you to frame it. So with my project, what I do is I make pieces of clothing, and I give the pieces to senior ladies. Right now, my focus is senior ladies and women of our community. So I give them those pieces, have them take a picture with COVID and location. So I'll mail a garment to you, have you wherever your favorite spot, whatever it is. It can be your queen's. I have a chair, a cozy chair that I call my queen's chair. So it can be in your dining room where you have your coffee. It can be on your patio where you put your feet up and get some of that sunshine. It can be anywhere you choose that is, your favorite spot, or a spot that's convenient for you. Take a picture of yourself or have someone take a picture of yourself. And then I want to ask you a few questions. I want to ask you a couple of questions. I want to know, how did you get here? I want to know a little bit about your family. I want to know where you've been and where you think you're going. Okay. Because we have to think about the past so we can move forward into the future. Yeah. And then we here right now, today is today. That's where we are. Where your feet are planted, make it your queendom, your kingdom, make it the best that it can be. Have that beautiful goblet bowl there, and fill it with things that make you happy. Those colors make me happy. Those colors look like all the colors that I have in my studio.
Yes, they do. And why don't you name some things that, if this was a bowl of happiness for Miss Cheryl, what might the first thing be that brings happiness to you?
The sunshine.
Okay, how about this one?
Fabric.
And how about this one?
It would have to be cotton.
And let's do two more. How about this one?
That color's kind of bland to me. I'm not pulling anything from it.
Say if you didn't go with the color itself, but just name something that brings you happiness.
A flower.
And how about this very last one here, if you like it? That
color is just royal. Just the color itself makes me happy.
Okay. Just that blue color itself. So I would imagine you might have several things of blue around your studio, possibly.
I do.
Yes, and this beautiful royal blue, that is just a beautiful color.
Yes.
And you said this brings you happiness, just the colors themselves and all.
Yes.
And that's true. People see things like this, and it just really will enlighten their lives and just really bring joy to them. So I
Yes.
would imagine when you said you have them take a picture in their favorite place, you send them that outfit and they put it on and they're just clothed with beauty at that time,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
becomes about, I love the word you use about their queendom. I love
Yes.
that word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we're doing it in vain. It's
Oh no.
not vain. It is because it is okay to build yourself up.
You
Got
have to.
yes.
You
And
have to.
what
If you
because
don't do
why?
it, who's
Mm-hmm.
going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
We go out into the community, the world, mostly still working, you amongst people who don't have your best interests at heart, but want to use your skill set for them to make money. So, we're it's a harsh atmosphere sometimes in the workplace, and women deal, seems like to me, better with the workplace than men. I noticed that some of the men, they're quicker, I'll just say quicker than women to leave a workplace. But women mostly are thinking about their children more so, to feed them.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they are, when they think along those lines about their children, just to feed the children and whatnot, sometimes in life they lose themselves in doing that.
Yes, yes. That's why I am so encouraging of women to have some happy time for themselves.
Yes.
Go somewhere by yourself. Go meet your girlfriend somewhere. Go have some coffee, ice cream, whatever pleases you, and the children will be okay.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Well, also, I wanted to transition a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
back to when you said helping the creator clothe the world. I want
Yeah.
to talk about a little bit about the yesteryear and the things that we did when sewing years and years ago. I think it's just so significant because we lose track of the value of our history and how we used to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, years ago, you and I know, we're two middle-aged women. We know that when people would sew, like you said, they would make their own patterns. They actually had women that didn't have a lot of money and things, at resources at
Mm-hmm.
home. They would literally take a piece of paper,
A paper bag.
or a paper bag, a brown paper bag,
Yeah.
and they would take that paper bag and they would take something and like this, and they would
Yeah.
literally trace that onto the
Mm-hmm.
paper, or they would use their natural eye, and
Right.
they would take their eye gate and they would just trace out what they thought that pattern shape should be, and they would cut it out, and then
Yeah.
they would lay it on a piece of
Fabric.
cloth, and
Yeah.
they would trace around that and cut it out, and they would use their pens and pin it together, and they would go through the whole process.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I watched some of my relatives do that as well. Now
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk a little bit about that because when we spoke a few days ago, you said, yes, I started out doing that and now it evolved to something else. So that's
Right.
why I wanted you to tell our audience how, yes, it started off that way.
Absolutely.
Yes. But if you
Yeah.
could talk to us a little bit about how it did start off, but now where it has actually evolved.
It's evolved because of the great home training that I had from my mother, seeing her expanding patterns. At that point, mother was using store-bought patterns that she had to cut and add on to, widen, and make bigger for the larger arms and our body types. I naturally took a liking to that manipulation, that pattern manipulation. That's what pattern making is. So you take some type of from your imagination or from a picture or a previous garment. You can take it, trace it out, make a pattern on paper, but now we are making those same type of patterns in the computer. And so we're going into Well, we've been doing that for a very, very long time. I actually had my first computerized pattern training back in 1994. The industry is shifting again to where the patterns now are, we know so much about patterns, so we made so many patterns, so we have a stock of patterns. So it's no need to really start all over every time. So you have patterns that are sort of like automated. And a company that I'm working with called Tucatech, and actually where I am in Inglewood, this is the Tuca Center, Inglewood. So by Sheryl Lynn Training Center. So I am teaching training people, designers, pattern makers, whoever wants to learn more about the apparel industry. I'm teaching training here in Inglewood. I now incorporating the Tucatech program into my training.
Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Tell me a little bit about what does that entail?
What it entails is, say if you would take a piece of paper, like we were talking about, you were talking about, and you would take a pencil, right, a ruler, and some measurements, and say, let's just make a triangle, right? Yeah. So we're just gonna we have a start point, and we have the next point. We move up to this point up here, and then down to this point, right? We just did that with our pencil, our ruler, because everything has to be straight. Right?
Yes.
So just imagine that on your computer screen. You're now using I just happen to have my mouse right here.
Okay.
I hope nothing moves. Now you're making that triangle with your mouse.
Oh my.
And it's showing up on your computer screen. You can now take that triangle and what you call plot it out. It's a large printer. And then that's your pattern. Oh, so instead of having the physical pencil, the physical paper, you now are using your mouse, your computer, and a printer.
Oh my!
To get that pattern.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Would you say it's how has it enhanced pattern making?
Okay, so the enhancement is like it. On the physical body, pattern making it's a little hard because most of the companies are warehouses, cement floors, and so you have to get a cushion. We do a lot of standing, so you have to get a cushion rubber like mat.
Yes. But
you're standing on your feet all day, and I'm short, so tables are come to here on me. So you're leaning over, you're making these patterns large, you're cutting with your scissors, and all that physicalness about it is eliminated because now you're just sitting in your seat on the computer.
Okay.
But the time, patterns can be made in a third of the time. You still have to use your brain, but you can, instead of taking a physical pattern, going back when you want to recreate something, because patterns may seem simple, but it's not necessarily, because every time you change your fabric, you change your pattern, because there's different shrinkages in different fabrics. So so you may have your base pattern, that triangle, right?
Yes.
You cut it out, just cutting it's going to shrink up that triangle. It's going to be smaller than your cut piece. So then it's going to be sewn, and then you're going to actually put that on a person, or actually maybe on a dress form, and see if you like it. So now you're going to sculpt it to the body. So before, it's just an idea. It's just paper. It's just, but now once you put it on a dress form or a body, now you're personalizing it. You're getting it to the base size that a particular company wants. So now we have curves, right?
Yes.
So and it's got to move, and it's got to feel right on the shoulders, and it's got to fall, it's got to hang like the designer wants. So then the pattern maker is going to go back into the computer now, instead of going to that physical pattern, go back to the computer. Well, the designers said to bring that triangle in halfway of the triangle. Now we're gonna make a curve. We're gonna bring it in a ½ inch and show some indentation for the waistline. And then the sweep, oh, they want it to be more full on the bottom. Then instead of going to that physical pattern, you're just gonna go right into the computer and add width at the bottom. Now your triangle has shape.
Wow. And you do all that through a computer. Do you do it through a special program, however?
Yeah, the program is called Tukatech. That the company of the program is Tukatech, and the program is TukaCAD. Yeah.
Oh my, that's amazing. Amazing. So I would imagine you probably save a lot of time doing it that way as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And now you can take that particular triangle. You may have your start point triangle, and then you have your curve shaped triangle now, but then you wash it.
Okay.
You're going to wash that garment and it's going to shrink even more. So then you're going to, as a production pattern maker, then you would add width and length back to the triangle because you know it's going to shrink when it's washed.
Oh, I see. Look at that.
Yeah.
So in advance. That's good. That is great. So so
it's a lot of testing going on.
Yeah.
And with each particular fabric, you have to test.
Hey, that's great. That is amazing. Now, have you in your line of work, have you made garments for people specifically that wanted us? And I know you said you made garments for many people at your church. You clothed many people in your church. However, outside of the church, in the industry in LA, with all the industry, the acting and what goes on out there, have you actually worked or made outfits or garments for any of those stars or mega stars and people that?
Well, I start with the first star that I'm the star.
Okay.
But as far as some of the companies that I work with, I have seen my work on television. Let's just say that.
I see.
I've seen my work on television.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So it wasn't necessarily by Sheryl Lynn Apparel, but those companies, yes, I've seen my work in many different places. And just a few, what was that, 2 months ago, I was just on the set of a movie doing personalized alterations. So they had some like cat suits, leotards, pre-made already, but then it was a kind of a quick production. So they had their dancers, when they was coming for the actual shoot, try on the cat suits, and then they had to be personalized really fast, really quick, the same day that they were shooting the film.
Oh my! So how do you deal with that type of pressure, having to hurry when you said they had to be done the same day, and actually you know that you're around people that are huge and with their namesake coming in, so maybe you've done that for many years, and so it's no.
I'm just skilled, and I acknowledge my skill set.
I see.
And I just do it.
I see.
And that comes from the creator. I'm gifted for what I do.
That's good.
I mean, and then in the garment industry itself, there are timetables to meet all the time. But you know when you're going to a set, a 1 day shooting right there on the spot, you got to get it done.
I see. And when you get it done, and under the pressure that I know it's got to be some pressure. How do you deal with? I know that you are gifted by the Lord Jesus Christ for doing what you do. But then again, how do you deal with that pressure, knowing that I have these garments, I got to get them done right now, and all?
It didn't feel like pressure because I love what I do.
Okay.
And I'm skilled at what I do. Because I know what I'm doing.
I see.
I can get it done, and it doesn't. I love it. It doesn't feel like pressure.
And my reason for asking that, because there are some men and women that are listening and that will listen to this even months from now that want to know the trade. What is the secret of Miss Sheryl Lynn's trade? And that is, you said, knowing what you know, knowing it, knowing your skill set and being confident therein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
I have years of experience. What I'm finding now with the young designers is they have a great idea, and these young people, you have to give them credit
Yes.
for making things happen the way they're doing it now. They're doing it totally different from how me and my colleagues came into our industry. They are getting their garments made without the knowledge, pretty much, of the industry. So they have the love for it. They see what, some star is doing, and they say, oh, I'm going to get that done for me. So they go out, they set out, but it's kind of doing things backwards. So when I'm speaking with them, and I'm passionate about this part right here, learn your craft, learn your industry, know something, especially our people. Don't go in front of these other professionals not knowing to speak the lingo of your trade. Learn what you're involved in.
Yes, I see. I feel your passion. and how do they go about learning that?
Well, they can come to me. They can take a class from me. It's like once the young people get connected with me, they have a resource. So I tend to I feel like Aunt Cheryl, Aunt Cheryl wanting them to succeed. I don't want to see our young people fail. And I don't want to see them look like fools in front of other industry professionals. So that's what my training is all about. I have workshops that go from sewing, learning how to learn how to thread sewing machines, learning how to handle different fabrics. I go from pattern making, learning pattern making, teaching the terminology, and the business of apparel. And then now also incorporating the Tukatech pattern making.
Oh, that's great. So those classes are available for people in your area. That's amazing.
Absolutely. And we're going to be starting some online training as well. Some people like that hands-on, but with the world that we have right now, and we will be able to reach more people with technology. So there will be, in the future, there will be more online classes.
And why don't you tell us how would someone get a hold of you if they were interested in finding out more about your business? And
my business is on my website, which is www.bysheryl.com. I'll spell that. BYSHERYL, the @ wait. What did I say? So it's bysheryl.com. BYSHERYLLYNN.com.
Okay. And we'll be sure and put that in the link when we have the introduction there as well, so they'll know how to get in contact with you. Now let's go ahead and transition to speaking about senior moments. And what do we mean by senior moments? I'll have Miss Cheryl kind of let us know.
Okay, so senior moments. I'm dealing with my mom right now, and so I'm learning more about the elderly through my own personal experience. So mother is she's dealing with dementia, and things are happening, and you kind of don't believe you're in it. So when mother is feeling like she doesn't want to do something or she doesn't want to eat, that super stubbornness will come out. And then there's the lockdown of, I'm not giving you this information. Even though she raised her daughters, and I'm speaking specifically of me and my family. Mom raised her daughters to take care of ourselves, therefore to take care of the community, therefore to take care of her later in life, right?
Yes.
Well, things happened where I guess the mind shifts. And when you think you have things taken care of and you find out that you don't, you find out that a lot of things are going wrong. So the dementia was kicking in and we didn't know it. We just got my sisters and I just got the diagnosis this past summer, but things were happening in the last 5 years that seemed kind of quirky, that seemed kind of, that don't seem right. Mama, what? You know, and so Mama was just saying she was tired. She was tired, so she wasn't paying her bills.
See?
Mother let a car get repossessed that she had given us. I mean, it was going out my sister Melanie's driveway. And we was like, what? What's happening? That's not our mother.
I see.
So, mother wasn't paying her taxes. So mother had property. So it's like people start, you're talking to friends and it's like, oh, this happened. And so it's like other people may have had an experience. Mm-hmm. But I notice a lot in our community, we don't post those sorts of things on social media. We kind of post only the super happy, fun things.
That's right.
Well, we need to help educate ourselves with these senior moments because the moments they are forgetting.
I see.
They are not remembering.
I see.
They are tired and have done so much for everybody else that they sometimes let themselves go. Yeah. So the moments lead the children, family members, to have to get in there and take care of some things. Yes. So the senior moments, they lead you to need to get that will, that trust, that power of attorney, get those properties in the names of people who will take care of it, but still leave a senior knowing that it's theirs, but it's in the name of people who care, love them. Yes. We have to prepare ourselves, even when you think you're prepared. Yes. My sisters and I, now we got the power of attorney. We got our names put on the properties. We got mom's bills caught up. We're helping her pay her bills electronically. We think we handle things. Well, when it's time to sell one of the properties, what is called escrow people say, who's Juanita Ashley? Because her name was still on the insurance.
I see.
Who's had to send what do you call it? You have to sign and put your thumbprint. Notary.
Right.
Notary has to come to make sure mom's mindset is okay.
Yes.
Guess what happened? Had a senior moment.
Oh my.
I ain't doing that. I ain't tell the realtor he could sell my house.
Okay.
You find yourself in shock. You think you have taken care of some things, and then there's something that throws you off. So the community, we have to do as much as we can with our seniors. If you want the property and everything to stay with the family, you have to do whatever you can to get the information now. Have a family meeting. Talk to each other. Especially if some property belonged to your parents, and then they have brothers and sisters. They have siblings. Have a family meeting. Talk about it because our elders are getting older. Our elders need to be cared for and respected at the same time.
That's right. That's right. And when you're respecting, especially your mom, because that's your situation, and she's being having a senior moment, like that the realtor came and they wanted to get things notarized, and she said I had a senior moment, like I ain't selling this house. I don't even know what you're talking about. When that is going on, how do you respectfully continue to work with her in that moment without?
This is what we did.
Yes.
It took a while. So we had a good faith estimate sent that I had mom sign a year prior. Then the sisters had a family meeting with mother. We wrote down, like, mother, you agree that this house needs to be sold. But mother had already put the houses in our names.
I see.
But we were still respecting her because it was her property all those years, you know, that we say, mother, is it okay to sell the property? And this is going on, that is going on. We need to do this, we need to do that. This would be better if we sold it. And also, would you like this particular realtor to sell it for you? So we've had discussions. So we wrote down and dated, and mother signed it. So when it came to the time that mother had that senior moment in front of the notary republic, I just said, Mom, remember, you told the realtor that he could sell the property. Well, you know what she did to me in front of that person? She said, I don't care about that realtor. I said, okay, Mom. This asked her again, you sure? Are you positive? She said, no, not selling. Even though it wasn't hers anymore to sell. I still respected her enough to tell that notary republic, Mom said no.
I see. Good.
We have to find a different way to go around it. Good. So what was the reason that the notary republic really needed Mom's signature? Because Mom's name was on the insurance still, and the escrow company wants to make sure there is no elderly abuse.
I see. Right. That's good. That's
and
good.
So we had to go a different way, and we had to talk more to Mom. So she wasn't prepped enough
That's good.
on that particular day. And so I did my best to prep her, let her know that the notary public was coming back. And do you remember this? The house, you know, those things I named, this, that, the other, and it's best to sell, and it's ready. It just needs your signature. Oh yeah, baby, that's right. That's why I got the house. So you guys I can take care of my children.
That's good. Good. Good.
Had to be reminded, refreshed constantly over, you know, I left out of the house yesterday. Mother was having a senior moment. I left out of the house, getting ready to leave the house to pick my sister up from work. So Mom's like, you're leaving? I'm like, yeah, going to get Lisa from work. And make sure she had her water, make sure she had whatever she needed. You going to get Lisa from work? I'm like, yeah, be careful, be careful. Where are you going?
Okay.
I'm going to get Lisa from work.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, be careful out there.
Yes.
That dementia is kicking in fast now.
Yes.
I swear I didn't get out the door again. Where are you going? Shut up.
Okay.
And I've always been patient. And so I just smiled. I'm going to get Lisa from work.
Okay.
What can you do?
So
what can you do?
Yes. So how do you deal with role reversal? And you probably know what I mean when I say role reversal, meaning that your mom, you know,
she's 4.
Yeah, and you are becoming more of her caretaker when at a time in your life she was your caretaker.
Yeah. She raised us because that's what independence is all about, and that's what the Haymon Scholarship Fund tries to instill in the young people, because there's going to be a day when you have to take care of your parent.
That's right.
It's inevitable, isn't it? We're aging.
Yes, it is.
And we don't have the option to put her in a home. I mean, I have a home. Melanie has a home. Lisa has a home. Right. So when I need a break, like Melanie, the oldest sister, Mom's firstborn, is a school teacher. So she had, 2-3 weeks off for that Christmas break.
Yes.
And so Mom was with Melanie during that time. Okay. And we all have the different roles that we take on. Lisa takes care of the medical. Melanie's paying the bills. Mom's here with me physically. I seem to be taking care of more of the things with the properties. Melanie cooks for us. She has a meal prep. It's called Melanie Mocha Meals. And so the
nice.
meal prep, Melanie's doing that cooking. That's more for lunch, dinner. Lisa brings over breakfast foods. And so we're working it.
Look at
the
that.
way we can.
Yes.
And then it's not easy. And that's one of the things I show with on social media. People that knew Mom from her community in Fresno, California. Now all of a sudden, Miss Ashley is not there. She's with her daughters. And this past summer we had a family trip. Mom has been asking, and this seems to be the thing when the seniors get a hold of this, dementia gets a hold of them. Yeah. They seem to want to go home, wherever home was when they were a child. And so we thought we were really doing something, gonna drive cross country, take Mom to her birthplace, Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Okay.
Soon as we get to Pine Bluff, Mom called the police on us. Senior moment.
Oh my. Why?
Senior moment. And I'm crying like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Sister's got to handle it because the police on the phone with Mama, dispatch on the phone with Mama. And Mama don't know where she is, just saying, the devil in me, I'm driving too fast.
Okay.
She usually drives fast. She usually drives okay, but she's driving and the devil is in her.
Okay.
And this we're thinking, Mom talk, you know how on our phones now we have Siri or whatever name of
yes.
I'm like, she's talking to Siri.
Okay.
My sister's like, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
So it was actual dispatch, and so and when we really knew, on the side of the road they had these low signs, and it said some bridge we were over. It was a church on this side, and a sign for a bridge. And so they asked Mom, "Do you know where you are?" And Mom's like, Cheryl, where am I? And I'm just driving. And so I see the sign for the bridge. The dispatcher tells Mama the name of the bridge.
I see.
Therefore, we were being tracked. Through Mama's phone. Through her phone.
Oh, my. Through the phone.
Yeah.
Boy.
So I'm driving. And I think she was triggered because we were I did get off. We had the printed map, and we had the telephones. All of us have our smartphones. Mom even has a smartphone. That's why they tracked on her phone. Okay. So I missed the turn. Wasn't familiar with that area of the freeways. And so I missed the turn off. So I had to go this way. And then, our phones tell us, reroutes us, right, to get to the hotel where we were going. Well, we were cutting through some fields. And all you could see was fields. So Mother got triggered some kind of way with a thought that I guess that I was taking her out into the field to harm her.
Oh no.
So she called 911.
Oh my.
Yeah, that was a senior moment. That was the worst senior moment of my life.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I saw
why was it the worst senior moment?
Because it was so real. We were just going through protest in the summertime. So now here it is, the sheriff's coming towards me. I tell the sisters, I see the sheriff, I'm just going to pull on over. Oh. I'm a Black woman driving in a place I have never been, in a field. Okay. She triggered, now I'm triggered. Okay. We all Black. We still Black. So here comes the sheriff. I just pull over, roll the window down. They come, pull behind me. All you see when they're coming to you, your eye level, is their gun. Oh my. I'm crying, can't even speak.
Oh no.
So dispatch still on the phone. So I got Melanie talking to dispatch, and then I have the officer saying, who's Juanita? And then we all pointing to Mama in the back. And thank God he was a decent man.
Oh, good.
A decent man. And then here comes another one a sheriff coming up behind you. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. And And I just see the gun.
Oh my. And so that's all you were thinking. I see the gun and protests and all that has happened and all of that. But thankfully it ended well.
Yes. And that officer actually led us to the hotel. We were just like 3-4 minutes away.
Okay. Oh boy.
Just got rerouted.
We're laughing about it now, but at the moment, it was no laughing matter.
No, it was awful. It was awful.
My. Yeah. And your mom, did she just come back around out of that senior moment and kind of go back to?
Oh, if I ask her about it now, she would tell me the same thing. So whatever's in her head is locked in there. Okay. She would tell me, "Oh yeah, you was driving crazy. Oh yeah, we was lost." It's like, no, Mom, we weren't lost. Okay. But she thinks we were lost.
I see. And so how did you and your two sisters process that? You
know what? You just have to take it in and kind of laugh about it, get that cry out. And it's like, oh, that dementia diagnosis that we just got 3 weeks prior to that incident.
Oh my.
Even though some things were happening, but we finally got Mom to the doctor. We thought we were taking Mom to the doctor for her some new eye drops.
Oh my.
We found a joker had a golf ball size lump in her breast.
Oh no.
Not telling us because she said she didn't want to worry her daughters.
Oh no.
So Mom had cancer and she had dementia and she had her eye is half blind. So we have to tell our family what's going on with us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's no need not to worry your children. They're there to help you.
Mm-hmm. Especially.
And I laughed with Mom. I said, well, you had us for more than just washing dishes for you, right? We're supposed to help you now, right?
That's right. Especially good children, adult children that care. There are adult children that they do not care, but there are adult children that people have reared and raised, and you know what the next step is in the journey called life. And thank God for you and your two sisters that you know just what to do. Now tell me.
You know what? It's not necessarily knowing just what to do. Mm-hmm. It's taking every day at its own thing because now we have a different challenge. Now Mom's not eating as much. And she's asking for a specific food that, you know, we really we didn't eat that way, but we like, okay, well, Mom asked for some fried chicken, right?
Okay.
We were brought up on that was every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And Mom made the best fried chicken, and my sisters can really do good fried chicken. Mm-hmm. Well, we do the mocha meals that are healthy. Whatever your issues going on in your body, my sister Melanie tries to have the food be healing for you. Food is supposed to be healing, so we don't cook it to death. I'm saying we don't cook. I don't cook.
Right. Okay.
So we don't. My sister Melanie doesn't cook the food to death, and there's a lot of raw food and nuts and so mothers want. You know, it's okay to want. We have tacos every week, but she wants some fried chicken. She wants some fried chicken. So my sister Lisa thought she was doing good, right? Did some oven baked fried chicken.
Oh my.
Mama wants visually, she wants it to look like it did when she was a child, I guess, you know.
Oh my.
And I was also told that sensory is important. So because my sister Lisa cooked the food at her house, then brought it over, Mother didn't have that aroma in the house of, you know, fried chicken, fresh fried chicken smell in the house.
Oh, yes.
It just makes you want to eat, right? Mother was disappointed. And so then Melanie got her, when Mom was at Melanie's for those weeks, Melanie got her some store-bought. And the store out here, Albertsons, they do really good fried chicken. Well, now everything is too salty for Mother. And so then I tried to get her some fried chicken. Now that was too spicy, too whatever. So she's not eating as much as she should. And she has lost weight. And to me, she's looking frail. So it's a new thing to deal with. How do we get her? And our cousin Sean once we told her because Sean cared for her elderly grandmother that had dementia.
I see.
And she was blind, so Sean cared for her, so she knows a lot about the elderly, and she has a spirit that is for the children and for the elderly. So when we need somebody to talk to, we can call on Sean. Anyway, Sean said, well, she need to get some nourishment in her. So they have this Ensure stuff that you can drink.
That's right.
Well, it's too sweet for mom. Everything's too sweet, too salty.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this dilemma right now. What do we do?
I see. And have you?
So we're going to have to find out. We're going to have to find
the
out.
Help of a dietitian or her family doctor or someone like that.
And that's the next thing. So we kind of were waiting on a phone call, a doctor's phone call she's with Kaiser, thank God.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah,
that's great. And your mom, you said I'm going to save those steps that you said, because there are people that are listening that are going through this as well. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter number 9 about those. There is nothing new under the sun. There's a time and a place for everything that's happening. And so not only is this happening to Miss Cheryl's family, it's happening to somebody else's family, right. And it will happen to your family. Just have a few more birthdays.
Yes.
So the thing is, you talked about those steps and that you outlined as far as getting things lined up and in proper order. Can you tell our listening audience once again the proper steps that you all took to when you began to move your mom's things over to your name and do all those things and put it in place so that, when the time comes, that everything will be in order?
So I think the first thing is actually have that family meeting, not just with one person and your parent, but try to get some a witness too, that's maybe not a beneficiary in the family money, property, or whatever. And that's got to be key. So outline what your parents want.
I see.
For themselves and for their children, because their opinion is it really is the most valuable opinion. They have to agree to what's going on. And we younger people, we think, okay, well, we should be able to do it this way or do it that way, and we can use technology to do this and that. Well, they may not always grasp that. So you're going to have to put some things down on paper.
Yes.
And so that they can really go and look at it again, see their signature.
That's good.
And that doesn't have to be the computerized paper. It can be in a notepad, just something that you can grab from time to time.
Right.
And pull it out. Say, look, Mama, I try not to say, do you remember this?
Right.
I have to catch myself when I'm asking her, do you remember this? Because she doesn't remember.
And tell me, and I kind of know why. I'm just want our audience to know why would you stop yourself from saying, do you remember this?
Because she doesn't remember. She is asking me the same thing within 5 minutes 4 times. So then when I go and talk about something that we did 3 months ago, and I say, hey, Mom, you remember this? And she kind of looking blank face. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want her to feel bad when I keep saying, do you remember this? And she doesn't. Because then she's fighting with herself to try to remember. Then she gets like frisky and uptight because she doesn't remember it. And therefore she lashes out now. Getting mean.
Yes.
Getting mean.
That is what I wanted you to point out to people that are listening, that you didn't want to hurt Mom's feelings, because she, even though she doesn't remember, she does understand to the degree that you're asking her this, and she can't pull that out of her cognition
at that moment.
And the reason that you see that lashing out is behavior speaks. She doesn't have the words to say, I'm frustrated. Yeah. This is just really frustrating that I can't pull the memory out and get this to you. So instead of speaking it out, she does it through behavior.
Yeah.
And sounds like you all know how to deal with that and actually turn it around. Like I love how you've done it. you have made sure that you catch yourself from saying, do you remember this?
Yeah.
And all.
Right. So then you're just going to show it. You're going to show it. It's likely she will graft her own signature, you know. So you just, not that typed out long draft, but just a little note saying this, that, and the other, signed by the children on this date. You know, you have that where you can pull it out and show. And then you do get the power of attorney. And you don't have to go to a lawyer. We all have these fancy telephones. You can go to any site. You might have to pay $6.99 or something to get that document, the power of attorney, to print it out, and PFD format where you can fill in and sign. And then you have to get that notarized. If it's not notarized, then at least 2 other people have to bear witness to it, sign their names to it. So there's that power of attorney. That's important.
Ask you one question before you go forth, because you and I know this, but some of those that are listening may not know why. What does notarizing the document do for that?
That makes it state valid.
Okay.
You have to show your identification to the notary republic. You have to. Your signature that you sign at the time that they are witnessing you sign has to match your ID, your valid ID. Yes. So that's the state stamp.
I see.
That this is a valid document. And then now you can use this document to give to the hospitals, to give to even something simple as Mother had a storage facility. I'll get back to the things we need, but Mother had a storage facility that we paying the bill on every month. We didn't know what was in it. She didn't know what was in it. Our uncles didn't know what was in it, but she paying on this every month, and she got multiple properties that she didn't need a storage facility. So after a certain time, after we calmed down with all this kind of madness stuff, we went to the storage facility. Mind you, we're taking trips. We live in Southern California, Los Angeles. We're taking trips to where Mom lived every 3 weeks or so. Once we got that, found out about that cancer and this brain. So new hospital stuff on our schedule constantly. If all 3 sisters couldn't go, 2 sisters went and took Mom. And then our cousin Sean would go with us to take care of some of the housing things. We even had, because we needed to split up all these different responsibilities, we even had a responsibility that we gave to our cousin, accepted, to take care of some things on Mom's behalf, because she can talk to Mom really good. Like I said, she's good with the elderly.
That's great.
So I lost my thought.
About getting things in order as far as that document is concerned, and then
and the storage, right? The storage facility, simple as a storage facility, needing that notarized power of attorney. Yes. So in order for my sister Melanie to take care of that and close out that bill, we had to give them the power of attorney.
I see.
So power of attorney is necessary. And now, if your parents have property, and they're getting of age, it's best to get the property in the children's names. Either all children, Mother wanted all of our names on every single piece of property, and that's what we did. And she signed that off. That was notarized, and so I took care of that part of the business, Mom's business, getting that to the escrow company and all that. You still have to go through the proper channels to get it to the city of Fresno and documented that now the Haymon sisters are now the owners of the properties. So if you have property, that's really important. Yes.
I want to interject one thing into this, and it is that the reason that's important, listening audience, why they took that and they went through that process of signing that home over and the properties, is because if and when the Lord calls their mom to transition, and she didn't have that in order, they would have to go through probate court. And if you have to
Yes.
go through probate, it could take up to a year or maybe even more sometimes,
Yes.
especially with us being in COVID land,
Yes.
to get everything straightened around, and the court would have to decide what happens to that property.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So right. So right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And even like I said, even though we thought we had taken care of that, when
Yeah.
it came to, we had, let's see, Mom sold the first property before we had dementia. Now the second property, now she has dementia, and just sold it. What month? This is January, 3 months ago. So this is all fresh and new. This is all fresh and new.
Okay.
But then to cover themselves, the escrow company wanted to make sure that it was no funny business going on with children trying to take the parents' property. So
I like that.
Yeah.
It brings a little more makes it a little more difficult for you all, but it definitely protects our elders, because there are people out there that would take advantage of their very own loved one. So yes, hats off to that company. Not so much hats off to you all having to go through that.
Yeah. And so that power of attorney, going back to the power of attorney, it helps with finance. Now you have to check which things that you want, health, finance, property, something like that. So we checked all the boxes.
I see.
So we're Melanie, Mom's firstborn, is in charge of Mom's health, so banking. So here we go. Check this out. Don't just in the senior elderly people's homes, the ones who have come through that the Great Depression or whatever that was called, or children born right after, they hold on to things that you may not think is valuable. They think it's valuable.
That's right.
So you really have to get their opinion on their thoughts on if they think something is worth keeping or not. And then you have to know when it's time to throw things away. Because Mother had multiple properties, like I'm saying, right? And so we were going cleaning. We getting worn out now. And so it's like, well, okay, we got to condense some of this stuff. And so what's valuable to you and what is not valuable to you. Now, when the dementia was setting in, and now we know more so when it did set in, because we could see, we were in cleaning, we would find paper bags, and then wrapped inside the paper bags, things wrapped in tissue. Wrapped, and inside of that was newspaper.
I see.
Money.
Oh,
money. We took over $13,000 that we found.
Did you really?
Yes. And put it back into her account. We found money orders, cashier's checks. Remember that car I told you about that was repossessed? Yeah. Well, she paid for it. She never mailed. She never.
My. Look at that.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah. So we took money back to her account, and then so much money has been lost. We're still going through the Secretary of State or the State Controller, where they say money. You have money. You hear those commercials. You may have money in your name.
Oh, yes.
That's real. Check things out. We got money back to put back into Mom's account because she either had insurance monies and different things sent to her. Some things were $500, something were $140. She had different bank accounts that she didn't remember that she didn't use in so long. Money was just sitting.
Oh my. Look at that. So check out what? Check
out when you're cleaning for your parents, you just have to check. You know, they used to say they put money under their beds and things. Well, no, it's money everywhere. Okay. Everywhere. Be careful when cleaning. Be careful.
Oh my, it's like a treasure house.
It was. It
Oh
was. And so
my
now
goodness.
and so when we did go taking all that money to the bank, now we got lots of money, right? I got pictures.
Oh my
We're
God.
taking it to the bank, and mother is having a senior moment.
Okay.
It's my bank. This I'm gonna talk. And so my sister Melanie, I'm standing behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so mama's, and they know her. It's her credit union. They know her. So hi, Miss Ashley. And so my sister Melanie is starting to talk about what she needs to do. And so mama's like, well, and this is another thing, a senior moment that can get you in trouble that you don't know. There's recordings going on at banks everywhere.
That's right.
Well, here comes some young ladies claiming to be her daughters with the senior person.
Right.
And she all feisty like this and saying
Right.
what she not gonna do.
Right.
So they don't know what we up to.
Right.
They don't know what we up to.
Right.
But thank God we are the daughters that she raised.
Right.
We're there to put money back into her account that we found all over her house.
Right.
Just so happened to be, and this was a blessing for us, that mother had put Melanie's name on that account when Melanie was in college.
Oh my.
So I looked at, I said, oh, the teller was telling Melanie, well, you in order for you to do a transaction, whatever, you have to put your name on the account. Well, I looked at the envelope and I said, I'm trying not to speak, right? Because I don't want to cause too much. Mama was already like this in the senior moment.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't be saying stuff in Melanie's ear. I don't want this to look like, oh, that person is trying to get her money, tell her what to do to get the mother's money, right?
That's
so I gave Melanie the envelope and I pointed to Melanie. Her own name was already on it.
Look at that. Wow. Look at God. Already had it set up.
Had it set up. So we just were able to do online banking, get everything established. We're here in LA. The bank account is in Fresno. We take care of all the bills and everything through that.
Amazing.
So it's up to the parents right now, whatever state that you are in, know that the future is coming. Know that your children gonna need access to your information. Stop keeping these secrets.
That's right. Yeah. And do it in such a way when you approach them about it. I love the way you've done it and your sisters have done it by you're including her in the process. You're not saying I'm taking it and being dogmatic about it. And even if she's in a senior moment, you're still being kind, patient, very patient and long suffering with her. And that's what you got to do. Even if it means you have to come back and revisit it. You might have to stop at that day and come back 5 days later.
Yes.
But that's sometimes what it's going to take. And I appreciate that. And I hope that those that are listening that are going through this situation right now, or those that will go through it in the near future, that you will take what has been shared by Ms. Cheryl. Go ahead and listen to this podcast again and make yourself a list. Mm-hmm. You make a list, you start checking off the different things that you've got to do. And there could be even some more things that are pertaining specifically to you and your situation, listening audience, and put those things on there and work that list and be diligent about it and love on your loved one. They took care of you and you now can take care of them.
Yes.
And with a lot of dignity and just love them, even when they have those senior moments, really love them.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. I give Mama, after I administer her medicine every night, I make sure I give her a hug and a kiss. And she tells me, oh, you my baby. You my last baby. You my baby. I cherish that.
Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice. Now, before we end the podcast, I want you to tell us, what do you do for yourself, for your own self-care?
Self-care?
Yes.
Well, let's see. Right now, during the pandemic, what do? I have a taco every week.
Okay.
You know what? I think because I am eating the healthy meals, and I
Yeah.
think is you should treat yourself.
Okay.
There are days that Melanie suggests that you eat whatever you want, but don't
I
go
see.
crazy.
I see.
And every now and then I have some ice cream, and then
Okay.
my guy and we go out every now and then, not much. If it's just go pick up some food and eat it together in a quiet spot, looking at a tree or the planes go by or something.
Good for
Trying
you.
not to congregate too much.
I see.
But I keep it simple. And that's pretty much it right now. And
Well,
because
good.
my business is I am mixing because I'm able to. When mom's been physically here over a year, and so I was with my business was driving into downtown Los Angeles, and then the company was wanting more from me, and I just had to say I'm not able to give more. My mother's with me now, and I cannot give more.
I see.
So I had to know for myself physically what I could do, and I had to make a choice. And so there is no choice. My mother is it. My
That's
mother is it. So I have the flexibility with my business it's a home base now. I had to close down the commercial spot right before COVID because in our industry there's trade shows and different things that happen.
yes.
And people were getting sick, not coming, and it's like, something's going on. Something's going on right at the time where I was going to launch my line at a trade show.
See.
It's like, no, something's not right, and I think I better close this office down
I see.
and just do it and next thing you know, here's our stay-at-home orders and things.
Yes.
So with my business and with mom being here at the same location, I'm able to get her breakfast done, enjoy having coffee with her, looking at the sunshine. That's big for me, relaxing,
Yes.
and then opening my business at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Able to come back in, check on mom if she needs anything, and then. But you know what's funny now is I guess she thinks I'm a child because like when I have most of my things, sewing machines and pattern tables in my garage studio. Mother, when the sun went down, when it became dark, now she's telling me to come in the house. In this house, what you doing out there? Don't you know it's dangerous? Like, well, I'm in my own backyard. This not good enough. Oh, come in.
Oh boy.
So I really do like to travel. I like to travel, but we're not traveling now.
No.
We're not traveling. So I'm just enjoying the beauty of I go outside. I have a home. I have a backyard. I have a front yard. I walk in my backyard. I listen to the birds. I drink my coffee and sit on my patio and just let the creator give me thoughts and what to do next. And you know what? When you see the birds and the wind and different things that you have no control over,
right.
You know that there is a creator.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know?
It brings
And
so
that
much
sunshine
and
energizes.
solos. That's great. And the sunshine, you can package it and send it to Michigan. Okay?
There you go.
we take some at any time now. 14 degrees, gray outside, compared to your beautiful sunshine in 80 most likely. That would be most appreciated.
Oh wow.
But is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we end the podcast?
Well, you know what? I am grateful. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that my people have survived this America. We are prospering in our spirit because we know the Creator is real. He keeps us. And if we don't show praise to the Creator, mm-hmm. and we're only praising the material things, mm-hmm. think about the future of your life.
That's right.
What is this material thing going to do for you?
That's right.
You better get some spirit-filled something somewhere. Better know who's who and what's what.
That's right.
And try to find out the truth. You know, I'm digging deep into cultural truths and spiritual truths related to the Bible. And so everybody has their own walk. And so, but we all need to take care of our minds, our bodies, and our spirits.
Right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And that in itself is actually a nugget. A nugget. If you look at these Jews once again, that is a nugget, what you just said, to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirits. And that in itself will produce these jewels. You will come out blooming and blossoming and beautiful, just like this bowl of jewels that I have here. Once again, I thank you, our special guest today, Miss Sheryl Lynn Haymon, owner of Sheryl Lynn Apparel LLC, fashion designer, technical designer from Inglewood, California. Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us today. If you would like to reach out and contact Miss Sheryl Lynn Haymon, her website once again is www.bySheryllynn.com. Miss Sheryl Lynn Haymon, my fictive cousin, yay, that I found. And I know she's got to be, because she loves education and she loves sewing. She loves helping people. Those are all those Haymon traits. So
okay.
You have been engrafted in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being our special guest today. And just know that a door is always welcome for you to come back again and share some more when you feel led to, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a happy, blessed new year. And may it be prosperous for you as well.
Thanks so much. Same for you all. Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
Be sure to contact Rock Dimensional Consulting, LLC, where Dr. Keitra L. Davenport King is the proprietor and business consultant. Located in the beautiful Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area, her services are available nationwide online. The Rock Dimensional Consulting, LLC firm's mission is to build businesses on a solid foundation and equip leaders. RDC helps business leaders solve complex business problems, improve efficiency, empower teams, and implement long-term sustainable improvements. The hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You may contact Dr. Davenport King via phone at 940-227-1615. The website is at www.lifeafterag.org and email them at rockdimensionalconsulting@gmail.com. Dr. Keitra Davenport King's business prides herself on the following motto: building businesses on a solid foundation. Are you looking for unique, fun, fashionable clothing at a fraction of the cost? Then you've got to check out Jasmine's Fun Fashions. Jasmine's Fun Fashions is a locally owned mother-daughter consignment boutique located in the beautiful town of Morganton, North Carolina. They have over 14 years of consignment, fashion apparel purchase, and retail experience and pride themselves in providing excellent customer service as well as establishing long-lasting friendships with consignors and customers. Reach out and shop with them online via their website, jazzybiz24.7@gmail.com. However, if you're ever in the Morganton, North Carolina area, be sure to stop in the store, which is located at 304 Burkmount Avenue in Morganton, North Carolina, 28655. You may also call the store to inquire about merchandise at 828-544-5187. Their hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They serve their customers with the motto of excellent customer service and friendship.